Let us begin after a long time. As usual, I will chant that mantra and you also repeat along with me. It was a very nice day, sunny, bright day, very welcoming. And we will study again the Yoga Sutra Patanjali. Manobhuta hamkara chittani naham na cha shutra juve na cha ghrana netre na cha vyoma bhumi na tejo na vayu chidananda rupa Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Before I begin this discourse, let me tell you in brief what happened in Belur Math. It was the concluding function in the Belur Math, and it was for the whole week. It began on 23rd January, Swami Vivekananda Sthiti Puja Day, and then concluded on 31st. The whole this week, nearly 15,000 people that came and attended. And 25th and 26th, it was the devotees convention. The 15,000 people from different places, and that was a sight to see. The Belur Math is a huge area. It has become very small because so many different type of people in so many different languages, they are all talking among themselves and they are all devotees. This is very excellent, the wonderful way, and we are meeting them, talking with them, all the Swamis. You cannot cross so much crowd. And the pandal that they erected, that was sight to see. By the side of the Ganges, the huge pandal accommodating 14 to 15,000 people. It was really wonderful. I met our President Swamiji and all other Swamijis. They were particularly our General Secretary Maharaj. He was remembering all of you and the services and the function that we organized. And quite some time he said, but your function was much better than ours. I told not like that, but this is very big and ours was only small, 500 to 700 people, and this is 12 to 15,000 people. So many Swamis, some new buildings they have constructed. Even then it was difficult for accommodation of the Swamis and Brahmacharis. And there on 23rd I reached, 24th, many people who were known to me, particularly in northeastern area, Assam and all that, they came to meet me. How to meet so many people, particularly in Belur Math. So I took them to Dakshineswar. We went in a boat, went to the Dakshineswar, and then all the places connected with Sri Ramakrishna, we met there, we went over there, explained to them all the places, and particularly the very special room where Sri Ramakrishna used to stay. And there, after completion of his sadhana, he was thinking, now what should I do? As because everything is complete. Then suddenly from the floor, white smoke came up, and inside the smoke there was a face of a rishi, and he said, Bhava mukhe thaka. You must stay in the threshold of the spiritual world and this mundane world. That is why we see this Sri Ramakrishna again and again. He is, for any instance, the moment you talk about Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, his mind soar high up and he is nowhere. His body just like a dead body. He is not blinking, not taking the breathing. But again, sometime afterward, just normal, making jokes, cutting fun and all these things, normal. So this is the very special feature in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. This Bhava Mukhe Thakur, I was showing them. Then I took them to Swamiji's house and I was telling, and I also realized whoever came in contact with God became immortal. I told, see, when you were going around, so many debris of the big buildings we find on both the streets as different sides of the places of Calcutta. Huge buildings, the buildings of the jamindars, the landlords. Nobody knows whose building it was. Now there is a small house which you can just walk from Dakshineshwar, and there was a sweeper. He used to live over there in that house. And now, today, hundreds of people going to that house of a sweeper and offering pranam there. Why? Because the sweeper came in contact with God. What happens in our life, if we come in contact with God, we become immortal. The rich, the powerful in those days, those people are lost. Nobody remembered them. But an ordinary sweeper, he came to Sri Ramakrishna. He used to clean the courtyard of Dakshineshwar. And when Sri Ramakrishna was alone, he came and prayed to Thakur. Thakur, you are blessing so many people. Won't you bless me? Then Thakur asked him, what do you want? You are such a clever person. He didn't say, he was a poor man. He could say, give me money, give me this, give me that. He said, only you promise that at the time of my death, at the last breath, you will be there. I can see you, I can talk to you, I can touch your feet. Promise? Sri Ramakrishna promised. And just before his death, he saw Sri Ramakrishna there in that room. And that is why that building has become a temple now. Again, there is a story, and there's a jamindar. He was very humble. He came in contact with Sri Ramakrishna, and he also became immortal. His house has become Balaram Mandir. He was Balaram Bosch. He was a jamindar, a landlord, but now it is a temple. The monks, they are leaving. And Rashik Mathur means the sweeper. There, our Matajis, Sarada Mission Matajis, they have made an ashrama. They are living over there. Every day they are worshipping. This time I went over there with all the devotees, and I was wondering, so how all these things happen? The purification of the mind. And what is the mind? We discussed in a different way. What does it mean by mind, and what is mind? Approach for the Western world, and of course the scientific approaches, and the traditional Indian way describing the mind. This is very, very important for the human being, the mind. Everything that we see is nothing but mind. Good, bad, happiness, suffering, everything in mind only. Yesterday I went to Omaha. There I was speaking about the Bhagavad Gita and spirituality. And I was telling them, see, it's so easy. Again and again, our tradition and our gods and our avatars and our teachers teaching us that you must understand two things. One is Sat, another is Asat. That's all. What is Sat? Permanent. What is Asat? Not permanent. All the time changing. What is changing? Everything. Right from the sun down to the blade of a grass, everything is changing. Every moment it is changing. Only if we understand this, then what will happen? We will try to get the permanent thing. What is that permanent? We call it God or Brahman or Atman. How to realize that? Through your mind. How mind can understand that? By purification. What is the purification? Unselfishness. See, the step by step if we go, it is so easy. But the problem is to become unselfish. Otherwise everything was all right. And why we can't become unselfish? Desire. And the moment there is a desire, and all things, all our attention goes to that. When the desire is not fulfilled, we are angry. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samudbhava. The desire means rajoguna, I must get it. Sattva and tama, almost similar. Sattva don't want anything, quietly it is sitting. Tama wants everything, but don't do anything. So it looks almost the same. Only it is raja. This rajoguna samudbhava. Then it says maha ashana, maha patma. This is the sin, the greatest sin. Vidyana ihabairinam. You must understand that these are your enemies. First kama, and here we were studying, after explaining the mind, why should you meditate? Now we are studying this yoga aphorism. The last class we studied 17th one, and this today we will start 18th. 17th and 18th of the first chapter, Samadhipada, that what it says? Samadhi. And Samadhi is a wonderful word. Almost everyone nowadays in all over the world, all the educated people, they know about the yoga, meditation. And different type of meditation now they are developing. And one lady was telling that she has learned, in Delhi she was telling, she has learned a peculiar special type of meditation. Then by that they can heal so many illnesses. So all these things are developing. And what is this meditation? Here it says, to control your mind. What is that mind? Flow of thoughts. So what you have to control? Thoughts. Where from the thoughts come? From contact with our senses, sense organs, with the objects. And if you can control the senses, your mind is also controlled. So we can go one step like this, 1 plus 1 plus 1, and again we can come back. So we can withdraw our mind if we can control our senses. How we can control our senses? This is a long practice. And afterwards, when we reaches that 17th sloka, it says that Samadhi, Vitarka, Vichar, Ananda, Asmita, Rupa Anugamat, Sampragyata. Samadhi means the total control of the mind. We cannot, I do not know whether you have reached to that. That there, if we can reach, even after that, controlling of the mind is so difficult. Even after that, when you are reaching in that situation, that condition, all mind is totally controlled. Only you are using vitarka, vichar, and asmita rupanugamat, ananda. These four things. Here we were studying vitarka, vichar, ananda, and asmita. With the help of these four, when we are withdrawing our mind totally, completely, forgetting all other things, it is a samadhi, but lower class of samadhi. That's called sampragyata samadhi. You won't get mukti here. So look at it. How difficult, how subtle. And that is why In Bengali they say Ram Prasad, he was telling to the mother Kali, goddess Kali, Lokhe ekta duto ghuri kate. In lakhs, in millions, only one or two kite, it gets freedom. It goes away. And tumi heshe dauma hat chapati. And you are so happy, you clap to see that. So difficult to get mukti. And that is the reason Swamiji is telling, do you think you will go, blow your nose few times, close your eyes, and you will get mukti? Is it so easy? So why don't you give your whole effort to develop something, help something, somebody, somewhere? The same effect will come. What is that? Unselfishness. We are going out to help a person whom we don't know. Why we are going? Not out of compassion, but with complete knowledge that he is nothing but God suffering. That is way karma yoga. Dhyana yoga they say sampragyata and asampragyata samadhi. This sampragyata samadhi say bitarka. What is bitarka? Now very tricky, very subtle. Shabda, nama, rupa. Shabda means sound. Nama, name. Rupa, form. The moment they say horse, immediately we know what is it. Shabda, it becomes a nama, name, a sound, transformed into a name, and that name gives us an idea of a form. The moment someone says horse, a sound that comes to us as a name, and then we find a rupa, an idea how the horse is. Suppose a child, very small kid, it has not seen the horse, has no idea about the horse. If somebody says horse, it will only look. No reaction in the mind, because that sound is not creating any name or form. This is important. So why our mind is disturbed? Because of the sound. Along with the sound comes the name. Along with the name comes form. The moment that comes, immediately our mind is attached to that. Here it says, why not? Put up your mind, control your mind, dedicate your mind, concentrate your mind on that. And then take the mind totally. And that is the reason we take the name of God and try to concentrate our mind over that. Sri Rama, Sri Rama. The moment someone says Sri Rama, it becomes a name and a form comes, form of a God. And along with the God, the name and the form comes some qualities. Satyavadi, the Ramachandra is a Satyavadi. He is all pervading God, but in form. He is courageous. And like this, so many qualities will come. Our mind is concentrating on that. And then we are forgetting all other things. By that, when our mind is totally one-pointed, it's called Sabitarka Samadhi. Then come Bichara. So Bitarka, Bichar. What is that Bichara? The subtlety of it. Now, this gross form has gone. The subtle thing is coming. The moment someone says Sri Krishna, is not the name or the form or anything is coming, but at the same time, idea about Krishna is coming. That subtle thought over that, when we are concentrating, this is also helping us to become concentrated. It's called Bichara Samadhi, Sampragyata Samadhi. Through Bichara, through discrimination, So I will request you to remember the two difference, very subtle difference. One is sa bitarka, bitarka. What is that? When someone says the sound or utter a sound, that transforms into a name, and that name brings a picture of a form into our mind, and then we concentrate our mind on that particular thing. And when we are totally concentrated, we are in samadhi, and that samadhi is called savitarka sampragyata samadhi. Then second step, savichara. That savitarka, it was a gross, now it has become subtle. That form is not there, name is not there, but idea of that is there, the subtlety. And over that subtle thing, when we are concentrating and forgetting all other things, this is also samadhi, that is called savichara. Then the ananda. After that samadhi, when we go deep into that samadhi, we feel tremendous joy. Otherwise, why people will practice it? If they are not getting anything, why people? Not only today, thousands and thousands of years people are trying to meditate. And those who are successful, they get a lot of respect in this society. Why? Because very difficult. And what they particularly achieve, they don't want anything else. If you say, oh, you are successful, come, I will give you the Prime Ministership of India, you will be the Prime Minister. He will say no, he will completely refuse. No, not at all, not necessary. Why Ananda? He is in joy. And after that joy, that is a different type of joy. When we are happy with something, the moment that particular thing is away, again that morrows, the sorrow, that all will come. I was particularly, when sometimes some people will be very happy when Durga Puja is coming. They will be preparing for Durga Puja, this, that. When the Durga Puja is over, when the immersion is over, then again back to that old form. Oh, it was, now it is all over. That joy is not lingering, but this is the joy in the meditation that we get. This is not going to go away. So that continuous joy, happiness, and that is the reason people are mad to practice meditation. That ananda, sananda. And what is that? Mind stop, chitta. Chitta means the mind stop. You know that we explained mana, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara. Same thing, according to the different action, are totally different and getting 4 different names. Mana means it cannot take the decision, and it dwindles from here to there. It's all the time like the pendulum. It goes, shall I do this or not? Not like this, it goes on. And that is called mana. Then buddhi, determinative faculty. Nishchayatmika, determinative. And the moment, now I am going to do this buddhi, the decision. So who is the leader who takes the decision? So the decision making is very difficult, because immediately all other things you have to keep in consideration and then give the decision. A society is very much progressive, the leaders are good, and they cannot make any progress if the leaders cannot take proper decision. This is the difference only, or nothing. When I went to this Middle East, particularly United Arab Emirates, I was impressed to see the wonderful decision that the first generation leaders they took. India got free in 1947, and these people got freedom from the same Britishers in 1971. And from 71 to 91, within this period, they have changed the whole thing completely. They were so poor, and there was nothing. Only sand, sand everywhere. Only the moment some people, they found that oil is there below the sand, immediately they told, and the Britishers, they found it out, but in the meantime they have already given the freedom to them. Now so they came to have a business contract. You cannot do all these things, it's very complicated, we will do it for you, we will pay you. The first leader, he understood, we don't understand. He called the meeting of all other leaders. They used to fight each other, and they called all together, 7 of them, and they told, brothers, there's a great opportunity to become rich, but the only thing we have to learn is English, because these people who are coming from outside, everything will be written, all the contract in English. Suppose we hire someone on our behalf, it will be difficult to know whether they are telling the truth or not. Look at it. That illiterate leader, the first king, he said, collect all the young people from 8 years to 16 years. And then he hired some British teachers and told them, give them education for 1 year. After 1 year, take an exam and give me 20 boys. And they selected 20 boys after 1 year. He sent those 20 boys to London and said, study over there 5 years, only English, and if possible, little bit of mathematics. They studied over there. In the meantime, all the business things were ready. He brought them back. Now read it, what is there written, and translate it to us. So this is the way they developed. The small kingdom. The United Arab Emirates is a very small, and major portion is just sand, nothing is there. But they are developing like this, decision. So leader means what? The moment we utter the word leader, immediately the picture of Kaiser or these that comes. No, even a father of a house is a leader, because his decision is effective. So who can take the decision? Who can control his mind? Who can think past and the future, then properly? And after taking the decision, when he is successful, what happened? Ananda, the joy. Here we come on a very subtle position, Ananda only. After the meditation, when the joy is there, everything is left, nothing is there, only joy within your mind. And very especially, you are concentrating your mind on that joy. And again going back to Samadhi. And that is called Savikalpa Samadhi through Ananda. And when we read this, it is so difficult even to understand, but think of the people who found it out. Are they not scientists? How scientifically they observe the mind and every position. First, bitarka, a sound, then it comes to a name, then a form, and on that form you are concentrating and getting total concentration, samadhi. Again, when that form is not there, sound is not there, but the idea of that is there, over that when they are concentrating, vichara. Then after that, when it is a joy, ananda, over that joy, that ananda, the bliss, again meditating over that. That's why Mother said, Ma Sharadamani Devi, after the meditation, don't leave your asana immediately. Wait. Suddenly you may get the joy, and on that joy, your mind may merge and you get the experience of samadhi. So after practicing 5 minutes of japa, it is of no use sitting there. If you are sitting continuously for 1 or 2 hours practicing regularly, after that you will feel a sort of a vacuum. You are not getting any idea of the worldly things and not also spiritual. At that time, one should not leave the seat. Simply, quietly wait. Suddenly, the ananda may come, the bliss may come in your mind. And then, concentrate your mind on the bliss. And that over that ananda, that bliss, again you are in samadhi. That may be. And then comes asmita, finally. I am enjoying. I am blissful. I am meditating. That I is not this gross I. This I, paka ami. And in the words of Sri Ramakrishna, kachami, pakami. Unripen I, ripen I. And this unripe I is this, ego. I. But the ripen I means that mental condition where I feel I am meditating. Who is this I? A pure self. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Mam means it's not an ego. It is that great I. The asmita in the sampragyata samadhi, it is to some extent that type of I, that consciousness. I am enjoying. This consciousness becomes the object of concentration. I am enjoying. Not this body, not this mind, that conscious being. And that I, over that, when I am meditating, concentrating. So, 4 different ways we are reaching to a samadhi. Again, that samadhi, according to aphorism, the Rishi says the lower standard samadhi. Sampragyata. Then, virama, pratyaya, abhyasa purva, samaskara shesha, anna. The another one, the higher one, there you have to reach. Asampragyata. Sampragyata, taking the help of the 4. Then asampragyata, without the help of anything, when your mind is concentrated. Now, when you read this, you can understand the subtlety of the thing. And suddenly some people, a samadhivan purusha hai. किसी को बुला के स्वामी जी ये समाधिवान पुरुष है. अरे समाधिवान पुरुष तो ठीक ही है. You have to check. Samadhi means what type of samadhi? The pragyavan, that means the knowledge is dawning. Virama, according to Patanjali, this is the stage after reaching which one gets mukti, liberation. What is the ultimate thing? Liberation. Ishwar labh manushya jivaner uddeshya. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said. Yesterday one gentleman was asking a question and Q&A session. What should be the goal of human life? First. And second, he asked, why Vivekananda left his body so early, 39 years only? Had he been here for 60, 70 years, he could help the humanity in a bigger way. What is your answer? I told, when I reach Vivekananda, I will ask him. Why has he left? Now I cannot say. But the first thing, the first question that he was asking, so what is the goal of human life? Very clearly, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, Ishwar labh. And what is that Ishvara? We will come to this. According to the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Ishvara is there. And he has given the definition of the Ishvara. And so when Sri Ramakrishna is telling about the Ishvara, that is your own self. Atmanam Viddhi. Long, long back, the rishis, they declared, Atmanam Viddhi, know thyself. Are you this body? Are you this mind? This name? All these things that you see? Then if it is not, who are you? This is a very peculiar question. And when one can get the answer, he gets everything. Everything. That is the thing we will see, we will find out from here. Vitarka, vichara, ananda, ashmita, anupagamat, sampragyata, and the second it says virama pratyaya abhyasa purva. Then this word samskar shesha. In Hinduism, in the Indian philosophy, again and again they will say samskara. What is this samskara? Impression. How can you explain the impression? You will see the two brothers, born from the same parent, growing up in the same atmosphere, getting the same schooling. But when they are 16 or 18, they are different. How? Because all the impressions that was coming, all the education, all the training, everything was same. So suddenly two brothers are becoming two different. Why? Then the Hindu answer, samskara. The samskara means impression from the past birth. Otherwise, where from it will come? This is the samskara. When that is also over, no impression is there, that is the samadhi. Here Swamiji is telling, this attainment by the constant practice of cessation of all mental activities. Practice of cessation of mental activities, totally stopping all the thoughts. Now, just by reading this, we can imagine how difficult it is. When I am thinking, I am stopping the thought flow, there is a thought. With the thought only I am trying to stop. And then when I am trying to empty, the whole mind is so difficult. One of our Swamiji, he became afterwards the president. But when he was general secretary, the moment some problem comes, anyone asking question about the ashrama matters, he will say, tomorrow I will tell you. And next tomorrow, with great confidence, he will say, this you do, this you don't do, like this. How is this possible? Since someone close to him asked him, Swamiji, if you could say this, you could say yesterday itself. And no, because I was not knowing the answer that time. How could you get the answer? Then he said, whatever problem comes to me after the meditation, I empty my mind and put that problem there, that thought there. Then whatever the answer comes, I tell. Can you imagine? Swami Premananda Ji Maharaj, people came to receive him, or the boat came, he was supposed to go to East Bengal, all arrangement was ready. He went to Thakur Sri Ramakrishna in the temple and just to offer pranam. Then suddenly people could hear he is conversing with someone. What do you say? I won't go today, but they have come. But still you are insisting that I should not go. But what is the problem? He was talking like this. People could hear only one way conversation. Then when he came down, his face was red. He said, I am sorry, I won't go, because Thakur said I should not go today. Then those people, the devotees who organized the function, Swamiji, it will be very difficult for us. All people have already gathered. You know that if you are not going over there, what will happen? What answer we will give? Usually, the people, they say, my health is not good. But that is totally wrong. And he said, truth. Thakur asked me not to go. I am not going. How can you explain it? What happened? The boat which was supposed to reach there, in those days they used to go by boat, they used to sail by boat. Suddenly, on the midway, it was capsized, all people died. And Thakur asked him not to go in that boat. He was supposed to go by that boat. So how to explain this? People say this is miracle. But this is possible. When you are taking your mind up into that, it is possible. Swami Vivekananda gave lectures after lectures. And each and every lecture is excellent. Sometimes some people will be comparing with Vivekananda with this and that. We don't usually say anything. but they don't understand the subtlety of it. How Vivekananda used to lecture? He used to go to Thakur and say, I am going to speak tomorrow 2-3 places. I don't have any idea what I am going to speak. Then he will go to bed, he will sleep. And people, not once, so many times, the heart from the other room, he is talking with someone continuously, whole night. And next morning he is ready for the talk, the lecture. All those lectures is only words, only lectures? No. These are all mantras. That is why when someone is reading the lectures of Swami Vivekananda, Ranganathanji Maharaj used to say, the young generation, read the Colombo to Almora, lectures from Colombo to Almora, all the lectures that Swamiji delivered, and read the letters of Swami Vivekananda. He wrote, and in one letter he is writing, whoever will read this letter of mine, my power will enter into him. Is there only words? No. But with sincere heart, if one can do, here we find that Swamiji is telling, in which the chitta retains only the unmanifested impressions. Unmanifested impressions. Meditate on the mind itself, and whenever thought comes, strike it down. Swamiji is teaching us. Allow no thought to come into the mind, thus making it an entire vacuum. When we can really do this, that very moment we shall attain liberation. Look at it. We are going to attain the liberation if only we can make our mind vacant. And this is called meditation. Hundreds of people are coming and teaching meditation. Only 1 or 2 sentences, if they read, they will understand how serious it is. It's not that some type of, you sit like this and do like that. That is only preparation, nothing else. Very, very lower level. And the meditation means totally make your thought, mind, chitta vacuum. Swamiji is not telling mind, he is telling chitta. He is using the Sanskrit word chitta. What is that chitta? Repository, the storehouse, the storeroom of thoughts. The moment I hear someone, immediately I remember the name, I remember the place where I met, and so many other things. Where from it comes? Just like in the computer nowadays it is doing. There are some impressions already there, and then it is coming up. Similarly, in our mind also, impressions are there, and that impressions are called chitta. This chitta, vritti, nirodha. In the first sloka, it says, the flow of thought comes where? Not in mind, in chitta. So don't mix up these two words. One is mind. When our chitta or the mind or the capacity is not in a condition to take the decision, then buddhi, taking the decision, then comes the chitta. Is a storehouse. And that storehouse is totally clear, empty, nothing is there. Then only the thought that will come over there, and over that you are concentrating, you are free, mukta. He is telling that ignorance is the lowest state and knowledge is the middle state. Beyond knowledge is the highest state. Ignorance is the lowest, we know. And knowledge means, as we were going on reading the books, then we mugged up some of the slokas, then we say these and that. Just today morning I was discussing with someone, that why should we read the explanations of the Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, the Ramanujacharya, all these acharyas? It is their thoughts only. Why not we study directly and understand ourselves, that is exactly what Swamiji says. Why don't you understand yourself? Read once, twice, again and again, a meaning will come. You will understand it. Now you compare with that. And it is true. Many of the times, whatever the word, the meaning it came, the explanation I thought, I wrote it down, I found it is collaborating with the great minds. That means the same mind is there within us. Same knowledge is there within us. The ignorance, then knowledge. Shankaracharya, in his own way, because he is a strong Advaitin philosophy, so anything and everything he is explaining in that. And he says, what is devotion? The other people, they are telling devotion means love for God. Prema Rupa, it is the total love, the ultimate love for God. Shankaracharya says, it is a search to know your own self. That is called. So Shankara is a Vedantin. So all approaches are through that only. The Vedantin approach. So this is the way we have to understand. Someone was telling, nowadays the Ramakrishna Mission people have become very strong Vedantin. I told by name only, all Vedanta societies. But we are doing all the four things. Bhakti, Karma, Jnana and Yoga. Only Vedanta, that name was given because at that time when Swamiji came, they were not knowing Sri Ramakrishna. And if we had said, Swamiji had said about Ramakrishna, they would have said, why we have the Jesus, why you have to go to Ramakrishna? Because the same thing we are having. That is why he only gave the principles, not the person. Even the direct disciples, his group brothers, Guru Bhais, they misunderstood him. And they said that you have not said any word about Sri Ramakrishna in the West. Swamiji said, will they understand it? Immediately they will compare with Sri Ramakrishna. And sometimes some people will be comparing Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Buddha and Gandhiji. Bojo. The Gandhiji is a great person, no doubt, but the Bhagavan Buddha, Ramakrishna and Gandhiji, he thought like that. Gandhiji said ahimsa, so he is thinking, nothing wrong, but is it really comparable? You have to understand properly. So that's called ignorance one. Then knowledge about this thing is the middle. But the ultimate thing, Swamiji says, and beyond knowledge. What is that beyond knowledge? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said to Swami Vivekananda himself, you know that Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, but I will tell you, I will teach you something much beyond this. What is that? All that you see is nothing but that Brahman itself, in different name and different form. So that is the knowledge, and that's why afterwards Swami Vivekananda is telling religion is realization. And we know about religion, we have studied so many things. And there will be so many other, the masters are there, they have studied all the 6 systems of Indian philosophy. And they have studied the European philosophies. And they can quote from here and there. But are they really realized soul? No. They are pandits. They are learned people. But they have not realized it. And that is the reason Swamiji said, knowledge is the middle. Is good. But finally it says, going beyond knowledge. What is that? Getting understanding the whole thing, realizing. Sri Ramakrishna, in his very simple word, he said, some people heard the name of milk, and some people saw the milk, some people drank and got the benefit of milk. So there are 3 stages. We have heard about Brahman, read about Brahman. Some glimpses of Brahman. But when you become Brahman, that is the ultimate thing. What is the result, he says, of constant practices of this higher concentration? Swami Vivekananda asking this question and giving the reply: all old tendencies of restlessness and dullness will be destroyed. Two things. He is telling, if you are constantly practicing this type of meditation, what will happen? The result is tendencies of restlessness. At the same time, dullness. Two different things in the mind. Sometimes mind is totally dull. Don't like to get up from the bed, don't like to think anything, don't like to do anything. It goes on like that. We feel this dullness after traveling from India to America. They say jet lag. Oh my God. I was thinking, what is jet lag? Now I am feeling. I went to somewhere, I came back, it was evening 5 o'clock. And I thought, okay, let me lie down a little and then I will get up at 6 o'clock and attend the prayer. When I got up, opened my eyes, it was 9 o'clock. When the time passed, in the meantime a telephone call came from Calcutta. Swamiji, how are you? I told, it is too early morning, please ring after some time. That gentleman has wrote a letter, email, to why in the evening you were telling it is morning? What happened over there? Then I will reply him, it is not here, it is in my mind. This is a jet lag, a dullness. You cannot think anything, but that will be totally over. You will never be dull. And at the same time, restlessness. You will never feel restless. The two extreme, restlessness, dullness, will be over by constantly practicing this type of meditation. That is what Swamiji is telling. As well as the tendencies of goodness too will be destroyed. So this is very important. All these bad tendencies will go. At the same time, good tendencies will also go. Isn't it very peculiar? Good and bad, all will go. When I am constantly thinking about the good thing, my mind is restless. I cannot meditate. That is also there. So some of the people constantly thinking good, that's good. But for those who like to meditate and get the samadhi, disturbed. You should not think about anything good. Totally vacuum. Good and evil tendencies will suppress each other, leaving alone the soul in its own splendor. And then the omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient soul can be realized. Then the man will know that he had neither birth nor death, nor need to of heaven or earth. It is the chitta constantly moving, making itself into various forms, and we think that we are these various forms. Now he is explaining. Now we are thinking so many forms are there, varieties are there, but what is this? It is only our chitta. See, he is not using the word mind, he is using the word chitta, repository, the store. From the store, it comes up, and in the store only whatever we have seen, we have gathered knowledge. It is not in this life, in the past lives also. So sometimes you will feel, suddenly you see someone and feels, oh, I have seen you, I have met you somewhere. And you know almost everything. You go to some house, oh, it must be the door is here, courtyard was there, like this, like where from it comes? You are totally new. The impression comes from the past life. You were there. That is why the Hindu, they believe in this reincarnation theory. And we think that we are all these various forms, all these delusions will vanish, when that free soul will command. Swamiji is using the word and he is telling, the free soul will command, not pray or beg, command, then whatever it desires will be immediately fulfilled. Whatever it wants, it will be able to do. So what is the benefit of this meditation? This tremendous power. You can do anything and everything over this world. But the very special thing is, as because there is no desire in the mind, they don't try to do anything. Otherwise, these rishis could do anything they wanted, anything. In the sometimes, if you read wonderful stories from our scriptures, there are so many things that happen. If the rishi could do so many things, where from? From this point of view. Swami Vivekananda, when he was traveling, going to Amarnath with the European disciples, the ladies were there. In those days, in our country, ladies were never out, and men were never mixed with the ladies, and that too the European American ladies, with a sannyasi, Vivekananda. They were traveling together. Can you imagine? Now Swamis they goes and the disciples they go, it's okay. Now it is the people they ask, hey, you are coming from America, you don't have any disciples? Like that. But in those days it was really, and other Swamis who were hundreds of them, they were going on criticizing Vivekananda, going on. And when it became unbearable, Vivekananda used to stay in a small tent separately, and ladies in a bigger tent separately. People were there to serve them. Then some of the sannyasins, well, they never knew what Vivekananda is. They came and they were standing at the near to that tent and going on abusing Vivekananda in a very filthy language. And it was really became very difficult for him even. All these days he ignored. This day when they came in that fashion, he came out from the tent. Whole his body became totally different. When he was going to say something, one old Swami, he came running and with a folded hand, he said to Swamiji, "Oh Swami, don't speak, don't say anything. These fools, they do not know who you are, but you know. If any word of curse comes out of your mouth, whole tapasya that they have done will be destroyed. Once again they will be thrown into the hell. Please don't say anything, don't be angry with them, forgive them." Immediately Vivekananda became normal and looked at him and said, "Thank you," went inside. So Vivekananda himself was the Shiva, and these people were going to the Lord Shiva, that is the Shiva Kshetra, that is the place of the Shiva. They were taking all the trouble to, and they were giving trouble to the living Shiva. They never understood. Swamiji himself said that this thing came, and sometimes he is mentioning, sometimes the power came so much within me, I felt that I can change the mind of millions of people, just like the soft clay. I can change their minds, but I controlled myself. I never did anything. Let it go according to their own samskara. So that usually what happens. That is why Swamiji is telling. And then he is telling about the Shankar philosophy never accept the God, conception of God. This is the very special Hindu. Of all the 6 systems of Indian philosophy, 4 don't believe in God at all. Only 2 they accept. This Patanjali Yoga-darshan, they are accepting the God. And Shankar, they are telling there is no God at all. They have an argument why we need God, the conception of God, that next day we will read. But the Kapila teaches that there are many souls. So obviously they talk about the God. So you will read in the next. Kapila is asking, it is very easy for the ordinary people to concentrate on God. And it says, Ishvara pranidhanat ba. In our next class, we will read about this. If you have any question about today's or this thing, you can please ask. Today's we discussed about the 17th and 18th. Sabhikalpa and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Sabhikalpa means with the help of something, and that we said 4. Nirvikalpa totally without. This are the two different. Yeah.
What is the minimum time needed to start the meditation?
This is there is no time limit. It depends man to man. Here we will read the same question being asked over here. How long it takes? Then it says, Tibra sambeganam asanyaha. If you are really very, very attentive, practicing very hard, immediately you will get within a very short time. So the meditation, when you are practicing, it depends on the particular person. You cannot generalize. Thank you. Any other question? Okay, then we will conclude with this. The last sloka. Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupo vibhutvacha sarvatra sarvendriyanam navasangatam naiva muktirnameya Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.